All right, ladies and gentlemen, those are the victory drums, and they sound for the Mean Machine. Steve Garcia goes out there and just obliterates David Onama, gets the big win, gets on the microphone, and does something so incredibly foolish that I am going to absolutely explode on that. On the debut of the mic check later on here on the post-fight show, I am Mike Heck reacting to UFC Vegas 110, an event that certainly will go down in history as happened inside the UFC Apex. A weird, wacky, just a card full of lunacy in a lot of different ways. And joining me today to react to the UFC's long-awaited, hallowed return to the world's most famous Apex, my fellow New Englander, fellow Red Sox fan, the one and only José Youngs. Jose,
What's up,
how are you
guys?
doing?
I'm great. Baseball season is like 2 hours, maybe an hour and a half, maybe an hour away from closing out. So bit of a sad day, but as you said, there was a fight. We watched it, and we're here to talk about it because it was weird.
Yeah, it was a very weird card, and we'll get to all of it in a minute. Mic check coming up a little bit later on. We'll let you know what the bonuses are in a few moments as well once we get them. I really hope Waldo Cortez Acosta gets one for fantasy implications, but let's talk Steve Garcia. Jose Youngs, he gets it done, made it look pretty easy. I think the biggest question I had in this fight was, can David Onama weather the storm in the first two rounds? If so, I thought he had a really good chance to win this fight, but there was a very real world where Steve Garcia could do exactly what he did, and he just overwhelmed Onama. David barely landed any punches, barely threw anything back. It was just all Steve Garcia throwing 3, 4, 5 punches at a time, mixing things up, going to the body, and gets him out of there. Pretty impressive performance from the Mean Machine, Jose. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think whoever, I don't know who said it on the broadcast, but I think they nailed it where David Onama maybe, I don't want to say he was timid or like not fighting because the fight barely happened, but it seemed like he was trying to put together a strategy or like some sort of game plan, and Steve Garcia just showed up to fight. Like after your game plan, I'm just going to punch you a whole bunch, and then that's a wrap. And that, I think that nailed it. Steve Garcia just kind of came out, did it. I don't think it mattered at all what David Onama was going to present or what he tried to do. Steve Garcia was just going to do this really fun thing, and that is just to beat the shit out of you until you fall down. And that's what happened. So good on Steve Garcia. I know we're going to talk about it, his post-fight stuff, but I think from here on out, either he gets another main event or he gets on a pay-per-view card or another. I don't think he's going to be co-maining Apex cards or co-maining fight nights from here on out. Main events and contender fights for him. So welcome to the what do you think he's going to be, like top 10, top 7 now in the UFC? So
No, probably not.
Not
Because
that
he was
not
what?
that high.
Well, I think he was only one spot ahead of Onama. So he was 12 heading into this. Onama was 13. I don't think he's going to move at all. Really. Maybe they jump over Pitbull and he gets to like 11, but they're not going to jump over John Silva.
No,
I
Pitbull
don't think
would be a sick fight.
Spoiler alert. That's what he's getting on to the next one. I can tell you that right now. And the call out is the big reason why. We'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, it was a tale of like one dude was ready to kill and the other guy was just hoping to survive.
Yeah.
That's what we saw. Like David I think it was just one of those situations where I just need a round to get loose and then sort of figure it out. And it was funny because, even when I was talking to David Onama, that clip that we pulled, I was like, yeah, it's like anytime you hear Yusuf Zalal in a room, that's like all you can hear is Yusuf Zalal in the room. I was like, when he's cornering, that's all you can hear is Yusuf Zalal. And at one point, like it was like literally halfway through the round, all you hear is Yusuf Zalal yelling, "Hey!" He like moves his right foot forward before he throws that big left hand. He does it every single time. He lifts the right foot up, he puts it down, then he throws the left hand. And that's all you can hear him saying it. And then David's like, "Oh, okay, I see that." And then Steve Garcia just ran at him and hit him 5 times and knocked him down.
Mm-hmm.
So dude's real good, man. He's just so aggressive. He uses his length so well. He gets in and out. His movement is super impressive. He's a good, fun fighter, man. I don't know if this dude's going to fight for the belt or anything, but who cares? He's a great addition to an already very deep featherweight division.
Yeah, featherweight like historically has like these guys that just kind of pop up. And they string together some violent wins, get a couple main events, and they either continue on into the upper echelon or they kind of become stagnant. Like for every Jean Silva we get, or actually Jean Silva could be there now. Like he gets epic fights, and then maybe that's his ceiling, or like a Giga Chikadze or a Calvin Kattar. Like they never fight for the belt, but they'll get into that top 10, top 7 main event, a couple fight nights, get a couple co-mains on pay-per-views or something like that, get a big spot on the UFC 300. And then they peter out. So I think this next fight is going to be telling on the direction Steve Ursek takes, because like right now, like from all those names we have, like we got John Silva's kind of in that right now. His next performance is really kind of determine where he goes in this division. You're either going to be a Giga Chikadze where, you know, you kind of falter a bit, or you could be an Arnold Allen where you falter and then can rise back up. So I'm really excited to see where he goes, because I can't think of many fighters where maybe his charisma out of the octagon and excitement in the octagon, is there a bigger gap? And I don't say that as an insult. Like Steve Garcia is a sick fighter. He is a sick fighter. Like he's going to be a guy that is not going to have a bad fight, but he's not going to sell you a fight. Like John Silva is exciting, is that rare fighter where he is super exciting in the octagon, and he's even weirder outside the octagon. He has that, and Steve Garcia is the exact opposite. So I'm excited to see where he goes.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I know in a meritocratic world, like Steve Garcia could just win like 2 more fights and maybe get a title fight, but it's just not going to be that way.
No.
Like John Silva can go 2-1 in his next 3 fights. And if there comes a choice for like a big main event in front of a crowd, they will call John Silva before they call Steve Garcia for the reasons you just said. That's just how the UFC does business. They're trying to get eyeballs on the product. And as fun as Steve Garcia is, he's just not that guy right now. So we'll get into more on that and where he could go in a moment. And as crazy as that was like the 7th craziest moment of this card was what happened in the main event. Because the co-main event we're going to be talking about for a very, very long time. Here I am, emotionally invested in this co-main event because I need Waldo Cortez Aosta to do something. I drafted him on the fantasy team. He was coming off the loss, and it looked like, damn it, this dude's about to get finished in the first round. And then we see the eye poke, and then we're taking time. We're trying to figure out what's going on. Referee calls the fight, and then it's going to be a no contest. And then it's like, oh no, we're just going to restart the fight. And Waldo Cortez Aosta goes out there and finishes Ante Delija. It was so crazy. And just a week after UFC 321, where Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Gane ends in an eye poke, Tom Aspinall says, no, Mas, I can't go. And Waldo Cortez Aosta is like, okay, I'll keep going. And then he goes out and finishes him. Like, this is the weirdest sport in the world, Jose. And to have this happen in back-to-back weeks, and to have and to have it play out the way that this played out is unbelievable, Jose. It's just unreal. You're muted, sir.
Getting arrested outside my window, so there was a lot of police running around, so I had to mute myself for a second. To add something else that you didn't mention is Wednesday at Media Day.
Oh my God, please!
Yeah, our good colleague Ken Hathaway over at MMA Junkie asked about the eye poke to obviously his teammate, and he said, you know, I've had 33 professional fights and I've never poked someone in the eye. So I don't really quite understand it, but I think there should be a harsher punishment. And I was like, yeah, good on you for standing up for your teammate. And then 3 days later, he stabs someone in the eye and then gets knocked out in a weird finish. And I was like, oh, is it the gloves? Is it these weird gloves that the UFC has to have everyone fight in, where the fingers don't bend down and, you know, fighters are used to maybe a different glove? So I don't know. It was just a weird... Like the fact that it happened to Tom's teammate, the fact that he said it on Wednesday, the fact that Waldo said, I can still fight, and then knocked the dude out, and then immediately called out Tom Aspinall in a profanity-laden interview. It was just the perfect storm of oddness. And MMA is just such an odd and such a silly sport I think everyone that has been following our shows long enough knows I love chaos. So I loved everything about it. I love when weird shit happens. So I thought it was hilarious. Bummed at the situation, because I hate when broadcasters are confused because their job is to, explain what's happening to the audience. And if they don't know what's happening, we certainly don't know what's happening. So that was the only part that was a little annoying, is they seem to be arguing about the rules. And then Mark Ratner had to call in, and then they were talking to the referee. It was like in any other sport that doesn't happen. So MMA, silly sport.
And even when they restarted, they didn't even take a point, which is
Nope.
like the funniest,
Nope.
which is truly the funniest thing of all. Like clear eye poke, clear foul. And it's just like, oh, we'll restart it, but no problem. We'll just continue like nothing happened here.
Good on Fitzgerald for he's the first one that clocked it, where he's like, the referee hasn't raised his hand. This fight might not be over. And then like Daniel Cormier and Bisping are like, what are you talking about? And he's like, he hasn't, like, he's checking on him. So good on him.
Yeah. See, that's the thing, because like Fitz is a professional broadcaster. Like he knows he's going to have to do this. And it's funny that the two guys in the broadcast booth who know the rules better than anybody are John Anik and Brendan Fitzgerald. Yeah. Like it's wild to me that those are the two dudes.
And if there are two fighters that have had career altering moments caused by eye pokes, it is Daniel Cormier and Michael Bisping. Daniel Cormier famously stabbed Stipe in the eye and then knocked him out. And then Michael Bisping literally has one eye.
Crazy. It's just crazy. Like all you gotta do is just read the rules. Just read them.
Nah, dude,
go to the events every year. Just go to the events.
It's too hard.
What are they gonna do when the ABC like reconvenes like later this year and there's new additions and addendums to the rules?
Daniel Cormier, read the wiki page.
I will say though, I usually give DC a pretty hard time. I actually thought he did pretty well tonight. Outside of that moment,
yeah, no complaints.
I thought it was one of his like better nights in the booth. Honestly,
no complaints. I think a lot has to do with when DC has to carry the commentary for like the whole color, like not the color commentary, but like the one that like the analyst role. That can be a little weird because like I'll listen to Daniel Cormier talk about wrestling all day because he knows more than anyone. But like he does not, like he's won championship. But Michael Bisping has fought longer in MMA and was a striker coming up. He was not a wrestler. So I think when you get Michael Bisping being able to talk about striking and defensive wrestling mixed with Daniel Cormier talking about offensive wrestling and grappling and top game and everything, I think that's a perfect combination. It's like when DC is with Felder, I think it's a good combo. When you ever get a striker and a wrestler together, I think it works really well.
We have bonuses, Jose.
Yep.
I don't know if you've seen them.
Nope.
Care to take a guess?
I mean, there's a million submissions. Wasn't there like 6 submissions in a row or something like that?
There is a bunch. 1, 2, 3,
Radke?
4.
Radke? Did he get one?
He did not get one.
I don't know. I can't even I don't know.
Well, Steve Garcia got one.
Steve Garcia, did Alan Nascimento get one?
He did.
Okay. So how many are there? You said there's 3?
There's 4 performance bonuses, no fight of the night.
Did that guy that submitted Bulgarian get one?
No.
Okay, thank God.
And he better not have.
He better not have. Alenka, is that his name? Billy Alenka?
Elikana? I would have liked him to get one, but he didn't.
Oh, is it Dante Johnson?
Dante Johnson is number 3.
Okay. That one was really the first fight of the night, the women's fight. Did she get one?
Talita Alencar should have got one, but she didn't.
All right, I give up.
Waldo Cortez Acosta gets the other performance bonus, which means more points for the fantasy team. Let's go. Unreal. What a turn of events. I'm so back in the race here. It's unreal. And that those are your bonuses. Rest of the results: Jeremiah Wells, Temba Garimbo, Charles Radke gets a win, and maybe Charles Radke a little bit humbled by Mike Malott, because that was a pretty good post-fight interview. I didn't cringe once. So
I have a feeling if he was in an arena with a lot of people, it would have been different.
Okay.
He seems like a guy that feeds off of the crowd. Like when he dropped a couple words that we can't say on air in Sydney, Australia. I don't think Charles Radke is. Well, I mean, he gave everyone the finger every moment he could during the week, so maybe not. Maybe he's speaking with his hands more. Charles Radke, Jeremiah Wells would be a fun little scrap. Speaking of welterweights, that one.
Yeah, I don't hate that. Yadir Davali submits Isaac Bulgarian. That is maybe the sketchiest thing of the night.
Unbelievable. That's unbelievable. I wish this is one of the moments I wish I was there, and I wish Dana White spoke, because if there's one thing Dana, like, if you ask Dana about betting lines or odds or anything, like, he gets a little into it because he's like a degenerate gambler. His words, not mine. And if there's any tomfoolery, he usually has some colorful things to say. So I wish I was there, and I wish Dana was there to get a reaction, but I digress.
Yeah. And just to let people know, like, even after the Rio situation with Handgate, I reached out to US Integrity, got no response. I have already reached out to US Integrity, who is like the official sort of like gaming, I guess, ruler of the UFC. Like, they're the ones that basically watch over to make sure no one's doing anything sketchy. No response yet to that, which is insane to me. Like, you would think that when these things happen, they would be the first ones to come out and make a statement about it. They don't say shit.
No.
They don't say anything, and it drives me nuts. But that was super sketchy. The betting lines were closing. Isaac Bulgarian, by the time we were doing the Q&A, was like a minus 250 favorite. And he was like a minus 180 on FanDuel when the fight started. Like, it dropped like 75 points. DraftKings like removed all the prop bets like 2 fights before it.
I think what adds even more fugazi to it is like all the mistakes he was making. Daniel Cormier is like audibly bleeding. Like, what is he doing? Like, why are you not fighting the hands? Like, why are you not doing this? And then in his post-fight interview with Yadir, he's like, were you surprised he wasn't doing all of this? Because like, that seems like MMA 101. Like, it was weird. It was really weird. And it was just like, all right, bunch of money came in. That's weird. Odds closed. That's weird. DraftKings pulled the bet. That's even weirder. Daniel Cormier being like, why is he not doing what he's supposed to be doing? I think that was the nail in the coffin.
And the big question everybody has is like, did Isaac like throw the fight?
Did he?
And I mean, obviously that is like incredible speculation for any of us to make. But I mean, that is like literally the most common question that is on social media after this is like, is this fixed? Did he throw this one? So hopefully, like, I get a response now from US Integrity, some sort of statement, anything to respond to this, because this is absolutely ridiculous. Mentioned Charles Radke. Good, solid performance, man. Like, he was very patient. Wasn't the most thrilling fight, but a good finish. Alan Nascimento, very exciting guy in the flyweight division. It's just a guy we'd like to see fight a lot more. Just not one of those guys these days. Shout out to Billy Alicana. I know a lot of us gave Billy a hard time. He even gave himself a hard time for his last fight. Didn't have that issue tonight. That was a great performance. Goes out there and just runs over Kevin Christian, who had a lot of hype heading into this fight. I really like the Timmy Kwamba performance against Shang Ho Lee, and that fight in general. Like, that was the fight that kind of like woke everybody up. We knew Dante Johnson would win. Beats Enrique Dumas. That may be the end of the Dumas experiment in the UFC, but we'll see. Norma Dumont, Ketlin Vieira really pissed Michael Bisping off. Thought it was a robbery. Screamed it from the top of the Apex rooftop, even though that's just kind of redonk because it's a very close fight. Alice Artelane has a 2-fight winning streak now. Defeats Canejo Ruiz. Seok Hyun Ko just destroyed Phil Rowe, who had absolutely nothing for him. And then shout out to Talita Alankar, who was on the last fight of her UFC contract. Visa up, kind of on the line. I think that performance is enough to get her re-signed. She looked really good. She hurt Ariadne multiple times in the fight and then finished her in the 3rd round. It was her best performance in the UFC, so shout out to her. So we will go to the peeps in a matter of moments, but what do we got? What's
2-4 Blue Jays?
Oh, it's 4-2.
Yeah, they literally just scored.
Oh, okay. What inning is it?
Bottom 6, a little bit of small ball. I don't know name. I don't know his name. Single, stole second, double into the corner.
Just
love it.
New York Yankee baseball in the mid to late 90s. Yeah. Get the guy on, bunt him to second, or steal second, bunt him to third, sack fly, 1-0 Yankees. Automatic. So before we get to the peeps, it is now time, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll try to make this yes. Fight check here on MMAfighting.com. This is a segment that was brought up on BTL. Let's talk about the callouts. Let's grade them. Let's react to them. So I picked out a few. I didn't really pay attention to like each and every callout that was made. So I'm going to start with Alan Nascimento, who we mentioned got a big finish, submission over Cody Durden. Calls out our good pal Vinny Siggs, Vincenzo, Steve Urseg. And I got to say, I love this call out. I think it makes complete sense. They're going to Australia, it appears, sometime next year, maybe in February. And if so, that's a damn good fight to put on that card. So that's an A- call out for Alan Nascimento. Very well done. We will go to Jeremiah Wells, who was a little vague, if we're being honest about the call up, but he said, let me fight the Australian guy, or let me fight the Australian or an Australian. Apparently, he wants to do some world traveling as well, perhaps go to Sydney. So I'm going to make the assumption that he called out, without saying the man's name, one Jake Matthews. And if that is the case, I like that call out. B plus. Makes sense. It's a B plus call out for Jeremiah Wells. Hopefully he is more active and we can see a lot more of him. Now we get a little hairy. We go from really good to pretty good to, although it's an epic rant, so to speak. The Waldo call out of Tom Aspinall is absolutely ridiculous. Like, what are we doing here? Like, you got to walk before you run. You just lost a non-thrilling decision to Sergey Pavlovich not that long ago. Yes, you got this one back. Somehow officiating and all that was in your favor, and you made the most of your opportunity. It was a little bit of symbolism when it comes to the heavyweight division. It enhances the storyline from UFC 321. And the rant was hilarious. I was laughing the entire time. But the whole Tom Aspinall, let's go, we're fighting, I'm coming for you. A little bit insane. You probably should have called out Derek Lewis, who's like literally called your name for the last 6 months. Would have been a damn good call out. You go out and beat Derek Lewis, and then you rant again. You might even get yourself a Tom Aspinall, but you know they're going to run that back with Cyril Gane before, and then who knows? Alex Pereira could just jump in there at any time and be like, nah, I'm fighting this guy, and you are so out of the conversation. So C- for Waldo Cortez Acosta, and it would have been a lot worse if the rant wasn't so funny. So I bump him up a couple of grades. And now we go to Steve Garcia, who has the biggest win of his career. He's got the mic. He's talking about, hey, when I was 15, I was saying these prayers and I was having these dreams about being in the spotlight and having these big moments. And it was really cool. Like, I was feeling good and all of that. And then Daniel Cormier asked the question, what do you want next? I assume you want to shoot a little higher. You told us in the fighter meetings, I don't care who it is. I just want to fight. If that's what they give me, that's what they give me. You literally have Yusuf Zalal, who is basically saying, he's trying to tell David Onama, screaming to him, I know what this guy is going to do even before he does it. And you go out there and finish him. What an incredible moment it would have been is after he got the finish, he just goes right to Yusuf Zalal. He's like, what, MFer? What? You saw nothing. Why don't you get in here with me next? And even if he called out Yusuf Zalal, like, it's a good call out. I don't even think he gets that fight, but it would have been a really good call out. Could have called out John Silva. Love that call out. That's a terrific call out. He calls out John Silva. I'm giving him an A+ right now. I'm standing and applauding him for this call out. If he called out Josh Emmett, great call out. I would have been fine with that. Called out Patricio Pitbull. I would have been okay with that. What he does just made me cry. He calls out Max Holloway for the BMF title, a guy who's not even in your division, a guy who doesn't even know who you are, a guy who's already telling the world, I'm going to go fight Charles Oliveira for this belt. This fight will never happen in a trillion years. And he calls out Max Holloway for the BMF title while Yusuf is standing right there. John Silva is in this division. And I got to tell you, I didn't think he was going to land the call out anyways. I thought he was just going to call for the title shot. So I was prepared for that. Little did I know he was going to drop maybe the top 15 worst callouts in the history of the sport. And he calls out Max Holloway. F- for Steve Garcia. F-. That's that. F-, Jose. Terrible.
That was shit. I I can understand some fighters being like locked in camp and like maybe not paying attention to what's happening in the MMA world for like 5 to 6 weeks, but I don't really have patience if people are so unaware of what's happening in the promotion that they fight for. The fact that you're calling out Max after Max basically accepted Charles's call out and Max isn't even a featherweight anymore, like I don't really have patience for it. Yeah, that was bad. That was real. That was real. Who did Buckley call? Like, didn't Buckley call out Conor McGregor once?
Oh,
That's like
I think this is worse. I think this one is worse.
maybe. Well, I don't know because man, that's tough because Buckley's calling someone out that fights below him in weight is a little strange. Yeah, this is bad. That was bad. This is top 10 all-time worst call out for sure. Like the Zalal fight would have been sick because I'm a big fan of people calling people out to their face.
I
Like
love
when Dan Hooker called out Paul Felder while Paul Felder was interviewing him, I think is just absolute dynamite. Some people, sometimes it goes great, sometimes it goes wrong. Like when Felder called out Justin Gaethje at the desk to his face, and Gaethje is not the type to play those games. That's a little silly, but yeah, this is an all-time low. This is bad. And
I still can't believe this is the call out. I can't,
especially because like, we just talked about how like Steve Garcia needs to do something to get fans interested, and then he just lays an egg. That was bad. That was bad.
Oh, that's so brutal. I still can't believe it. I was like, oh, he's gonna call it Volk. He's gonna screw this thing up, and he did it 100 times worse.
Yes.
Now he's gonna get like. I was like, I was even joking on Slack. I'm like, he's gonna fight Nathaniel Wood now. Like that's what they're gonna give him after this, because that was like the moment to like make the promo videos. And who knows? Maybe in 10 years, Max Holloway is still fighting, and maybe Steve gets his chance. But
I like all the tweets that were like, best we can do is Dan Ige.
Oh, I love it. Dan was tweeting that himself. Yeah, that was great. Update on the post show. Chiesa wanted him to do the call out again. He gave 2 names, Brian Ortega and Josh Evett. See, here's the thing. If somebody is telling you to do it again and then giving you choices, you did it so wrong. And you only have one chance to do it right. Ask Bilal Muhammad how that works out. Because there were so many opportunities for him to like just call it the right name. And I think if he did call it the right name at the time, he probably would have got to the belt a little bit quicker. Not much quicker, but a little bit quicker. It is important that when that's
calling out Colby.
Yeah, he kept calling out Colby and Usman when he was like the 14th ranked guy. And I'm like, what the frig are you doing? And what he would eventually figure out like the right person to call out, but it was already like a week too late. And he's doing interviews with like everybody and calling out the correct name. Like Hamzat was like always the call out for him, even though he wouldn't get it, but that was always the name he should have been calling out. And he never got it right.
And he would do like, I don't know if you were, oh, no, pop fly. That was a home run for a second. I don't know if you did the red carpet with me when he walked the red carpet with the Hamzat versus Bilal fight shirt. That was smart. Do that, but do it in the octagon.
Ugh. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. It's not that hard. David Onama was like, I have 2 names that I'm going to call out, but I can't tell you now. I'm like, all right, fine, cool. But looks like we're not going to find out who those are anyways. But
he's probably going to call out Max Holloway.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, my God. That is crazy. All right. Let's go to the peeps. We do have a couple of super chats. We'll start with Chase. What are the odds Dana comes out and says, that's how a heavyweight should finish a fight after an eye poke?
0. I don't think Dana watched the fight.
I don't even think Dana is within a 3-hour flight of the UFC Apex right now.
I agree.
So 0%. RS40, Del Valle reminds me of BSD. He will get to the top 15 soon. Who should he get next? Also, is David Onama really a top 15 guy? He looked bad in there. I mean, I'll figure out Del Valle before on to the next one tomorrow. I don't think it'll be.
What is he? 2-0, 3-0 in the UFC? I know he's undefeated.
He is 2-0 in the UFC, but his wins are Connor Matthews, who believe me, a New England guy. I like Connor Matthews a lot.
Yep.
The fact that he's in the UFC is really good. Good on him. He's a tough dude. And Isaac Delgarian, who clearly was not in a position to be fighting anybody tonight, apparently.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see him do a little more work.
Yeah.
29 years old. Could this be maybe the Julian Erosa test, perhaps?
At featherweight,
Yeah.
be a fun little scrap. 29, because what's his record like? 7-0, 8-0.
10-0.
Okay, so he's still relatively new to the career because a lot of guys will have 10 wins before they even get to the UFC. But 29 years old, I don't think you're a prospect anymore. At that point, you got to start moving. So I don't hate the Julian Erosa performance.
Yeah, I think it's fine. Trying to think, you could super vet test him, give him a feely or somebody like that, but that I don't know.
Feely's been wanting to get on one of those last few Vegas cards at the end of the year. And I think someone told me that Feely might be the most tenured UFC fighter to never headline an event. Which
Feely's never headlined, really?
Never. He's gotten real close and he's kind of like not gotten over the hump because he's fought a lot of huge names when they were early. Like he fought Max Holloway and Yair like really early in his career, which now that would be like a banger of a fight. And then he had like a couple, I think he had like an eye thing where he couldn't fight for like a year or so. I mean, I don't hate the Feely fight. That'd be a sick fight.
Yeah. Billy Q, like someone in that range. I know Billy's kind of banged up right now, but something like that. So
I don't hate it.
Let's go to the peeps. Bisping pissed me off. He was all but admitted that he felt like Ketlin Vieira was robbed. Was she? Also thought on Norma being 4-0 women's bantamweight. I mean, to call that fight a robbery is just absolutely ridiculous. First of all, shout out to AK, because if you watch the preview show, the dude absolutely nailed it. He was like, oh, I know why this fight's on the prelims. This fight has a very good chance of being very bad, and that was a very bad fight. Like a really bad, unentertaining watch. I have no problem with Norma winning it. I don't think it was a robbery at all.
No.
And
it was a fight.
It was a fight. Kayla Harrison is going to sleep soundly through the night tonight, as will Amanda Nunes. You know what? Even Juliana Pena might get a good night's sleep tonight after watching that. So there you have it. Herman, what are your thoughts on a potential Steve Garcia versus Patty fight if the Max fight doesn't materialize for the BMF bout? Is Steve Garcia, like Steve's a featherweight?
Yes.
Like he has fought at lightweight before. He's not going to, I mean, if he said like, I'm leaving featherweight, I'm going back to lightweight. I mean, sure, we could start entertaining lightweight matches, but certainly not going to be Patty, who's about to fight for the freaking title.
Yeah, let's
more
not
likely.
Steve Garcia, like Patty fighting a featherweight that's ranked 13th, or Patty fighting Ilia Topuria for the UFC lightweight title.
You know what? Maybe I'm not ready for the belt or the biggest fight that the UFC could possibly make right now, but I'll fight Steve Garcia in the Apex. Sure. Let's go ahead and do that. What else is going on here? Skullduggery. Still 4-2?
Still 4-2, bottom 7.
It's a big one. I thought LA was going to go out there and just smoke them tonight after how like last night ended, but
you know
who's Blue Jays, man.
You know who's really bad in the playoffs all the time that we don't talk enough about? And I think the fact that he has a couple rings and he's been on good teams that have won rings, there's a world that we could be talking about Mookie Betts in the same breath as like Alex Rodriguez, because Mookie Betts disappears in October. He disappeared in October for the Red Sox, and he disappears in October for the Dodgers. I love Mookie Betts. We are going to rue that trade for the rest of our lives. I think that's the third worst trade in the history of the Boston Red Sox. At worst, too, the Babe Ruth trade is still like kind of like the pinnacle of bad trades. The Jeff Bagwell trade is real bad. Mookie Betts might be worse than that, but man, he's real bad. He forgets how to hit in the playoffs.
We had that big hit last night, and I was like, "Oh boy!" Yeah. Now he's starting to heat up, and that's like the worst time.
The one of the games I think it was 2 years ago, 3 years ago when the D-backs went to the World Series. I went to the NLCS, the clinching game, and me, you, and Mookie Betts had the same amount of hits that playoff. He was like 0 for 20, and I was like, but then Freddie Freeman was like 1 for 21. So I was like,
Golly.
Mookie, I love you to death, but you got to learn how to step up. And to be fair, if you are, because I'm a big fan of like defensive work, Mookie Betts has been god level in the field. He's just real bad at hitting.
So I just got a text from a buddy who asked me, this is the question he asked me. Wow, Onama looked bad. Was that the worst performance from a main event fighter that you can remember in the UFC?
No. Carlos Esparza fought Yawning and Jacek.
Oh yeah, that was that was a main event, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was that a main event?
Yeah. No. Oh no, main event. That was co-main event. Ryan Spann fought Anthony Smith in the Apex. That was pretty bad.
Oh yeah.
Shoot, worst performance in a main event.
I mean, Cyril Gane against John Jones is not very good. He literally
nothing. That one's real bad. That one is real bad.
Yeah, I don't know. Interesting question. Onama had Onama just had nothing.
Till Woodley was pretty bad.
Oh yeah, that was one way traffic. Yeah, Usman Woodley was pretty bad.
Usman Woodley? Yeah.
That was just a dude who got absolutely run over. Zhang Wei Li, Carlos Esparza. Oh no, that was a main event. That was not a main event. What the hell am I talking about? Jamal Hill versus Alex Pereira.
Damian Maia and Anderson Silva was pretty bad for Maia. He rolled around for a bit.
Yeah, both of those dudes. Yeah, interesting question.
How about what is it? Who was it? Don Fry and Ken Shamrock for the super fight title where they just stared at each other. Izzy Romero was pretty bad for both guys.
Yeah. That's true. Let's see what else we got from the peeps. Wait a minute. I thought I just saw something. Bulgarian bets being refunded. Is that true?
Oh, well, let me look it up.
If that's true, then something super up. Which leads us to this question. Derek Minner or Bulgarian, which situation do you feel was worse?
Well, I would say,
I mean, right now it's got to be Minner because that's like
facts are facts.
Yeah.
Facts are facts. Yeah. So facts are facts. So it could be worse, but like right now, dealing with like what we know, it's got to be Minner.
Yeah. I'm with you on that one. Do Mike and Jose think no matter who Steve gets, does he get to fight in front of a crowd? What about on pay-per-view?
He could.
I think he's got to be headlining the Apex for a little bit. I mean, if they want to throw him on a main card, like wouldn't hate it, or a featured prelim at a good pay-per-view. That's fine. They want to throw
him on like a opener of like the LA pay-per-view that's rumored for January, like like from New Mexico. Mexican dude in LA would make a lot of sense.
Him and Pitbull would be a good pay-per-view fight.
It'd be a sick fight.
I'm down for that.
I really like that fight. I know Nathaniel Wood wants to fight Pitbull, and I do like that fight, but Pitbull wants to be like hyperactive. And Nathaniel told me himself that like he's pretty fucked up right now after his fight in Abu Dhabi, that he wouldn't be ready for January.
Yeah.
Or February.
Yeah, I think that's the fight.
I miss the Red Sox playing in October. World Series is just so great.
Per Aaron Bronstetter and others, so far Caesars and William Hill are offering credits for losing bets. Interesting.
That's crazy.
Shelby or Campbell set to address the media. What? No way. No way.
I don't think so.
There's no way that's happening.
Definitely not Sean Shelby. I'm definitely not going to be Sean Shelby.
Yeah, Steve Garcia is up there right now. Waldo was up there earlier. Yeah, that shit ain't happening. What are you, crazy? Watch Mookie hit a home run to tie it in the ninth or something. Pretty cool.
I love Mookie. I hope he succeeds for the rest of my life. I would just wish he was on the Red Sox.
I love Aldo, but that fight was short.
That's true.
Aldo actually like landed punches though.
Correct.
And David didn't land punches.
Nope. Someone in our Slack channel posted the tweet where it's like mobile customers with losing bets on Bulgarian will receive a cash credit within 24 hours or within 24 hours of blah, blah. Yeah, so credits. Yeah, that's crazy.
Wow. Yep, there it is. Alexis Davis versus Ronda Rousey or Cat versus Ronda. Yep. Okay. All right. Good to know that. Oh, it's too late now. I'm sorry, but apparently Garcia went to the post-fight press conference and he called for Josh Emmett. He was listening. Too late. Too late. You already effed it up. Like, there's no going back on what you have done. So it's unfortunate. Oh, and WCA called for Curtis Blades. So he apparently learned his lesson as well. That is a very good call out.
I give Waldo a little bit of a pass in the post-fight thing because he got stabbed in the eye.
Yeah.
So he was like, emotions were here.
Yeah, that's why I gave him a C-, not an F-.
I think it was like Brendan Fitzgerald was like, that went from a knockout loss to a no contest to a knockout win. I'm just like, that's crazy. Like anyone would have a mixed emotions after that. So I
mean, that was like the hardest C- to give because I was dying laughing during that rant. Plus, that's my guy. He got me like 200 points tonight on fantasy. So, C- it is. Curtis Blades is a great call out though. What are your thoughts on the UFC demoting Bo Nickel versus Rodolfo Vieira to the prelims headliner at UFC 322 and moving Benoit Saint-Denis versus Beneil Dariush to the main card as the opener to the pay-per-view? Thank you, UFC, for listening to Between the Links. We'll see you on Thursday. That's the right call, man. Like, there is a very real world where Bo Nickel, Rodolfo Vieira is a bad slog fest. And there's no effing way in the world that BSD Beneil Dariush is a bad fight. No way. There's no possible way that fight stinks. So this is the right call. Right now they have Bo Nickel head off of Vieira as the featured prelim. I would like to see that get bumped down a touch. Find something else to put up there. Put Malcolm Wellmaker in that spot. Like put somebody. Wellmaker Haddon is going to be an absolute heater. Yeah. That's it. That people are going to spend $85 on a pay-per-view after watching those two dudes fight each other. So
I'm trying to interview Malcolm Wellmaker on Anything But Fighting. Well, he's
sweet.
Yeah,
he's a fun guy to be around. That's
a lot of interesting characters. I think I'm going to have one like a mini one come out tomorrow with Quinlan because we didn't get Chris Barnett in Abu Dhabi, unfortunately.
Oh, okay, that'll be fun. I mean, great timing after he has one of the best knockouts of the year. That's for sure.
Nice kid. He showed me his Instagram Discover page, like his For You page, is literally all cheese. Because he's like, when I cut weight, I just crave cheese. And he just looks at cheese. I'm like, you are the strangest person I've ever met. But I love everything about that.
Was Dana in attendance? Charles Oliveira posted pics with him and Hunter.
He might have been there, but I don't he might have been
so.
there. Dana's like always seems to be around, but I don't think he likes doing media. I think if he had choice, he would not talk to people.
Yeah, he would talk to his friends about stuff he wants to talk about. I'm sure he actually would have been like, he would have been great tonight. Yeah, I would have loved to have heard his response to the Waldo thing for sure, and this whole betting situation. I'd love to hear from him, but I mean, he was in Abu Dhabi or somewhere in the Middle East for stupid power slap.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
and all his Instagram stories are like new animals he has on his farm or something. So yeah, I think this is one to skip. You know, I think that's one to skip.
What's the main event next weekend?
Randy Brown versus Gabriel Bonfim.
Whatever.
I have a feeling that fight might be a touch more competitive than the main event we got tonight.
Randy Brown's sick.
A couple more before we get out of here. Congrats to former UFC fighter CM Punk on winning the world title tonight. And shout out to CM Punk for the Duke Rufus robe he was wearing out there, paying tribute. I thought that was very cool.
Muncie just hit a nuke.
Who did?
Muncie, 4-3.
Oh,
Top 8.
Oh boy. Home run Dodgers. Dana was cage side? I did not see him at all. I mean, if he was there, he was there, but what else we got? Mike won't beg for super class anymore. But all respect to the leader and face him if he gets out of the trench very time. Mr. Young's the Jordan Breen of MMA fighting, Jose. That's
crazy.
It's a damn good compliment.
Which I have to do a semi-final matchup against Danny Segura in that main event minute.
Oh, the prop quiz.
Yeah.
By the way, there's betting lines on that.
Really?
You are a minus 17,000 favorite.
There's no way. Is that true, or did you just make that up?
Like, it would cost me I would have to bet $17,000 to win 100. You were going to beat Danny Segura.
I would hope so. Ben the Bane beat Aaron Bronstetter.
That was a good match
in the finals. But you know what I noticed? Speaking of like these post-fight interviews, they go what's his name? Long Island Luke,
yeah.
Long Island Luke asked like, "Oh, who would you rather fight, or who I'd rather face, or do you have a preference?" And he goes, "I'll face whoever Danny Segura or whoever or whoever else he's facing." I go, "Yeah, I know you won't say my name because you know what's up."
Yeah, the beating you put on Mike Bond, was tough scenes, man. Like it was just. That was
a lot harder than I thought. That was a lot harder than I thought.
Yeah,
I would have scored more if I got more of the 500s because all Mike's questions I could get.
Yeah, and that's kind of how it was. The first time was like it was just one of those things where I picked the right categories and I just trounced Jed. Like I think it was the biggest. Like I don't know. I'm trying to remember. I think it was the biggest single win in the history of the show. Like it was just astronomical. But then like I remember like I focused more on the mistakes I made in the first one heading into the second one. And I like overthought everything, and Brian Campbell like kicked the shit out of me. Because I like
overthought Brian Campbell.
I did.
That's embarrassing.
He had a better selection of questions, but I also like went against my gut a couple of times and lost, but I was mathematically still alive at the end.
Yeah.
But
the only thing I would change is he's got to add a timer.
Yeah.
You got to have like a 30-second or a 24-second clock for questions.
Yeah. BC is pretty good though. Like he does have a sharp mind. Like he knows some shit.
Yeah.
He knows a bunch of random shit that like nobody else would get.
I just remember he beat me.
And he is the champion.
I remember he beat me in between the links and his answer was, "I don't know." So like, what are we talking about?
One of my favorite BTLs ever was he won the fan vote with he went with, "I don't have an answer." Then he goes, "Yeah, I'll go with the just bleed dude." It was like, what
if you can make a documentary about it.
Yeah.
I said,
I don't know.
And I was like, the night of Seth Petruzzelli and Kimbo Slice would be a sick. Yes. If we got everyone involved. And I gave a thoughtful answer, and Brian was like, "I don't know, just bleed." And just bleed. Like, yeah, that.
71% of the votes, Brian Campbell.
Jesus
remember. Christ. At least Casey would have like stepped in, and
BC has his fan base. I'll give him that.
Yeah, he's the man. All right, I think we've done everything we can here for UFC Vegas 110. It's funny. Jed was not working tonight, and he just sort of chimed in one of our Slack channels, and Alex Lee said, very poetically, that was really a very Jed Meshui card, and it certainly was. It certainly was.
I really need the Blue Jays to win tonight. I've decided. I didn't particularly care.
You're on Team Blue Jays.
Yeah, I don't really care. Like, I love Vlad Jr. so much. I had this 1 year ago this month. So November 2024 at the UFC ESPN mixer for the UFC pay-per-view fight week. It was the same day as Mike Tyson, Jake Paul, and I was so delirious from that week because I was like triple dutying a lot of things because Casey was doing things. And I had this scenario where the Red Sox were going to sign Juan Soto, and then the next year we were going to sign Vlad Jr., and we were going to have a 2-3-4 of Devers, Juan Soto, and Vlad, and we were going to win 120 games, and then we don't have any of those players anymore. And two of them are in the National League, and Vlad is about to win the World Series. So, yeah.
Food for thought, ladies and gentlemen. For Jose, I, Mike Heck, AK, and I back tomorrow for on to the next one. Good night, everybody.
Hasta luego.